What kind of positive impacts can you see out of this kind of work?
Oh, that's such a lovely build, because when you started speaking about social media, it was like, yeah, I want to pull whatever hair I've got out of my head. Yeah, that's a beautiful place to be triggered. And so that word triggered then sparks why we don't have engagement with people.
So hi, welcome to the Success Mindset YouTube channel. My name is Damien Ellis and I'm glad to welcome back my good friend Stephen Light. Welcome, Stephen.
Thanks, Damien.
So Stephen is a leadership coach and expert, and he works with global companies across the world, obviously being global, to help companies and people achieve better results. And we've got Stephen here today to talk to us about how to have a more engaging approach. And hopefully through the conversation, you'll actually work out why that is so important, that if you can maximize how you engage with people, it can really enhance your life and the outcomes that you get in your life. So Stephen, first of all, when you're talking about engaging people, what's the biggest mistake that people can make?
You know, engaging is about you and someone else in a relationship. And I think if you want to be more engaging, you need to understand that it's with the other individual. People who make it all about themselves, I'm the one who needs to be in the limelight, I'm the one who's right, I'm the one who's going to tell you what to do. People who approach relationships, conversations from the perspective of it's all about me, which is pretty much an ego response. Those are the ones that people just don't really want to be around. It's like they tolerate you. So I would say one of the biggest mistakes we make that creates disengagement is when we make it all about us and we don't take other people into account.
And what then can people do in your, generally, could people do to become more engaging?
Well, two things. The first one is the internal work and the other one is the external impact. So it's understanding what is it about you that you have to make it all about you. And so that's a lot of self-work. For me, that's like opening Pandora's box, because that's a journey that's well worth going on. But once you open that box, there's no going back. You're going to discover stuff about yourself. So if you can work on that and really understand who you are as an individual and grow that, now the opportunity for making it about other people and engaging with other people is there. And that's where the impact lands. Because think about it, when we are trying to create engagement with people, whether we're in a leadership position, in our own lives, going for a job interview, in our relationships with our families, what we are doing is we are having an impact. You're never not having an impact. And if you want to have an engaging impact, you need to do the self-work here so that you can actually have a more engaging impact with the people that you engage with out there.
Absolutely. And I guess that, that impact you have, and you're right, you always do have an impact. And that could be a positive impact or it could be a negative impact, as we see quite a lot on social media. I think social media is huge for, negative impact. I would probably argue more than positive. But, in terms of the positive impacts that good engagement can have, what have you seen with the people that you've coached over the years? What kind of positive impacts can you see out of this kind of work?
Oh, that's such a lovely build, because when you started speaking about social media, it was like, yeah, I want to pull whatever hair I've got out of my head. Yeah, that's a beautiful place to be triggered. And so that word triggered then sparks why we don't have engagement with people, is that when people say and do things that they're entitled to, it's their opinion, that's who they are, what happens is it comes from a place of who they are, but it lands on you and it triggers something within you. That's why it's so important to do this inner work. And when you do that inner work, and then you link it to one of the previous talks we did around communication, and you link it to things like understanding who I am, how I communicate, how I ask questions, listening, to really engage with people. What you need to do is be very clear on how deeply you listen, what you are listening for, what questions you're asking, how you're understanding individuals. But you can only do that from a place when you are able to manage yourself. So for me, that's one of the things you should be looking at doing is self-management, so you can actually engage more.
And if people do want to do that, then, because I totally agree with you, but if people do want to do that, what tools can they put in place to be aware of themselves and to make those changes that they need to take? What tools would you, how would you approach this?
Yeah, so I'll speak through the lens of clients I've worked with in the past, and whether it's in a corporate wanting to get ahead and they need to be more engaging. Firstly, understanding who's your target market. Who are the people that you need to engage with? What are they about? Understand their values. Understand what's important to them. And really getting to understand that individual as a whole package, as a brand. And then equipping yourself with the skills on how to listen, how to ask questions. I would prepare a series of questions that are on a personal level and then on a work level that will help create engagement. Because the more in your communication and interaction with people, you can demonstrate that I genuinely care about you and what's important to you, that will create engagement. It's just the way we are as human beings.
Absolutely. And the word you kept using there was being genuine, being authentic. And I totally agree. And you know, when I've worked with clients around similar issues, we've always used Rogers' core conditions, which are, you know, congruence, being authentic, being in the moment, empathy, and unconditional positive regard. And, you know, having those as the core values and the core approach in terms of engagement really gives you that deep rapport and connection with people. So I think you're spot on the money there, Stephen, absolutely. So no, thank you very much for your time today, Stephen. I think that's been really useful for the viewers.
Cheers, David.
Make your life a masterpiece, my friends. Go out there and execute what you need to do.